can you tell us when you see entrepreneurs at that 6 and 7 figure level, what are some of the bottlenecks that they are running into?
They've ran the business the way that they ran it for so long that they haven't realized that they're on autopilot. And the very thing that used to fuel them and give them life and fulfill them is now draining their energy. And there's this resentment that's built up that they don't realize. They're not calling it resentment, but it comes out in things like, I just need a brand new team, or we just need to go pursue a completely different product, or maybe I should just start another business, right? All of those things. Sometimes it's not all the times as you're asking. Sometimes it's taking a step back, getting an outside perspective, a coach, getting an outside perspective to really diagnose not just, is my team dysfunctional? Is my business of bleeding revenue? Is my, do we need new products because the algorithms have changed and my messaging isn't reaching who I thought it would reach? Sometimes it's taking a step back and diagnosing what has got me here. And are these the same way that I'm moving? Is that going to get me to where it is that I'm trying to go next? If it's not, how willing am I in this moment to part ways with what I've always done? And that is oftentimes the most difficult part. For example, I have another story. I had a client to where they literally said, I'm a high performer, I'm an achiever, we're making, 7, 8 figures, easily on a quarterly basis. We're just killing it. I'm getting in these magazines and these, just their brand was doing very well. But the one thing he said to me was, but my team, I just feel isn't moving as fast as me. I feel that nobody else is getting what it is that I'm getting. And if they don't, if they don't pick it up, I'm going to stop apologizing for high standards. They need to just lift their standards. Well, after doing a 360 feedback and getting an understanding from the whole team, when they first all started together, so they've been in business, let's say 10 or 15 years. I don't know the exact number. They've been in business for 10 or 15 years, and this highly successful person is running this practice. And over the years, he would just kind of let things go. If someone messed up on something, oh, it's okay. If they miss deadlines repeatedly, okay, we'll just get it figured out. Then it became, as they scaled, this one process that is causing us delays and, whatever it is, delivery to our clients or customers. I'm just going to pawn that off on somebody else figure that out. I don't fault them for being fast. Like you should, being a successful business owner, you move fast, you're going to reap the benefits of what those things are, but you don't realize the things that become on autopilot. And so after doing a 360 with this team that has been together for 10 or 15 years, they had got to a point where they were terrified of upsetting him. They didn't want to let him down. They didn't want to ruffle any feathers because they were benefiting from, some of the other things that they were being on autopilot, like, they get Fridays off, or maybe they don't have to work through the holidays, whatever those things are. Specific to somebody that might be a solopreneur in their coaching business, or maybe with a smaller team, there are things that you probably have allowed that you haven't realized that are now starting to frustrate you. And you have to pinpoint those things to get yourselves back on track. And so even with this particular client that I'm talking about, I had to come to him and say, based on what I'm seeing from the rest of the team, you want them to raise their standards, but they are terrified of letting you down. Are you willing to kind of level set everybody, tell everybody, hey, look, this is what we've done over the past 10 to 15 years. There are going to be some things that are going to change. And I'm willing to listen to feedback so that I myself can change. He was not willing to do that. He just wanted them to raise his standards. He just wanted the processes to be fixed. Stop complaining to me. Stop always talking about problems. Well, that's only going to go so long before someone is just like, I cannot, be in an environment in this way. So the point that I'm making is, as you continue to scale and grow, it's important to do periodic check-ins with your team, with yourself, just with business overall. Just having someone come in, maybe you don't put them on retainer. Maybe you just have someone come in and just diagnose the entire system, whether that's you, your leadership, your team, or your business, to just get an understanding of where are we today. Get that outside perspective to get that understanding, because you might actually find it's just, it's just something that we've always done. And there are alternative things that we can do, but without that outside perspective, you're sort of blind to what, might be putting you in those spots in the first place.
And I think a lot of people are afraid of what they might find when they do that, kind of like this gentleman who, said, well, wait a second, he didn't want that to be the case, right? And I think that a lot of solopreneurs, you can do your own audit too, even if you don't have a coach. Like, just sit down for block off a day where you just go through all levels of what you're doing right now. If you're doing one-on-one coaching, if you're doing digital programs, if you're offering workshops, like, go through those things and say, like, is this meaningful to me as a business owner? Is this meaningful to my clients? What is really the revenue here? Is it worth the energy that I pour into these types of things? And I think a lot of times at any level of business, we are multiple times throughout the course of our business going to get to a point where we need to pivot. And, I just had a client today who was talking about she wants to create a membership program, and she's been working with me to create a membership program, but she doesn't have a lot of time. She sees one-on-one clients all day long. She also has a digital course that she's promoting and doing group coaching for that. And so she's feeling this lack of time. And sometimes we have to step back and say, okay, well, if you're not enjoying the one-on-one anymore, or you're not going to be the best coach if you don't love what it is that you're doing. So sometimes we change, our business changes, the way we coach change, and we have to pivot, sunset products, close things down, maybe take a revenue hit for a short period of time in order to get back on track, doing the things that really light us up and fuel us and bring us a life that we desire. So I think that point of kind of, I bring that up because you were talking about how he was doing things in a way for so long, and it was time for that pivot, essentially.
Right.
And so,
exactly.
Yeah, not being afraid to do that. And yeah, it is scary. It is scary taking a profit hit. It's scary trying something new, but this is our life. Like you said in the very beginning, we spend, a third of our time, did you say, working?
A third of our life, yes.
Yep, a third of our life working. And so we have to remember that this is what we are doing every day for the next X amount of years. And so if you're not loving it, like, there's got to be a change, a pivot. Thank you for watching this short clip. To watch or listen to this episode in its entirety, view the description below. See you next time.